Hello, everybody. In the news lately, there have been quite a few public service announcements from the state of New York, specifically New York City, on bugging out, getting a bug out bag ready, what to do if there's a nuclear emergency. There's a lot of things to take into consideration with that. And one of the things I wanted to talk about today was what I call the 7 steps to New York City's bug out. It has nothing to do with a bug out bag, tools, equipment, preps. What it has to do with is what's up here. How do you mentally prepare yourself and get ready if something happens, what to do? And I think these 7 steps will greatly enhance your ability to take care of yourself and your loved ones and make good decisions. Step 1, calm down. Pretty self-explanatory, but most people can't make good decisions when they're excited or stressed. So the ability to maintain your calm will directly affect those around you and their ability to keep calm. Step 2, identify the threat. That threat could be, in this day and age, anything. It could be riots, it could be natural disasters. In the case of these PSAs, some kind of nuclear threat. If you specifically live in New York City, know that the quicker you act, the smarter you act, the better off you're going to be. So once you identify the threat, it leads you to step 3, which is assess what is on you, what is immediately near you, and what is close by. So what I mean by that is what is on you. What clothing do you have on you? What tools might you have on it if you have EDC tools that you carry every day? What is immediately near you, 0 to 50 yards? What tools, what people, what equipment? What is close to you, 50 to 100 yards? You need to be looking at what buildings, what shelters, what conveyances, whether it's public transportation, is it working, is it not working, vehicles. Step 4, decide on your course of action. Do you seek shelter? Evaluate the immediate area? And am I safe temporarily? All of these steps have to be taken in somewhat of an order. You can't just skip ahead, but do you seek shelter? Does the threat pose an immediate danger to you? And what kind of shelter should you be taking place? The PSA that New York City put out about what to do in case of a nuclear event is pretty basic at its most base level. You have to decide whether you need to take shelter or not, and you have to identify that threat, which is step 2. Assess what is on you, near you, and close to you. Step 4, decide on your course of action. You seek shelter, evacuate the immediate area, and am I safe temporarily? If you're safe temporarily, that gives you time to think about step 5, which is do step 4 as quickly and as safely as possible. If you need to seek shelter, you do it as quickly and safely as possible. You have to constantly evaluate your step 3 assessment, which is assess what is on you, near you, and close to you. That means keeping an eye on what is going on around you, where are your avenues of escape if you need to, or where to go to. Under step 5, begin planning your next course of action while you're doing this step. So as you are getting yourself to an immediately safe area or beginning your route to a location, you need to constantly be thinking about where you're going, what you're doing, and how you're going to do it. Step 6, once your immediate safety is achieved, now you must plan and evaluate what your next steps are. This is crucial. Your plan is directly influenced by 3 main things: the severity of the incident, how bad is it really? So you need to evaluate what happened. Do you know what happened? Do you suspect what happened? And what do you foresee to be the consequences of whatever happened? Your mode of egress away from the situation. Is it a car? Is it a truck? Is it public transportation? Is it on foot? Is it by bicycle? Is it by water? Keep in mind, if you're living in New York City or working in New York City, boy, it's going to be rough on you. There's a lot of people in a small, condensed area. Everybody's going to be doing the same thing that you're doing. Maybe not as quick as you, but these steps will definitely help you stop, think, and react accordingly. Exposure to hazards, environmental, climate, and people. If there's a nuclear event, you need to think about what you have to do to protect yourself in case of that. Is it climate? If you're going to be traveling and trying to bug out of the city, you need to be aware of the climate. If it's in the middle of winter and you're not dressed appropriately, you're not going to get very far. If it's the middle of summer and it's hot as blazes, you don't have water with you, it's going to be just as difficult as it is in the winter. And people. There are going to be a lot of people. Don't make eye contact. Go about your business. Stay under the radar. Think gray man. And number 7, act now. Do not hesitate. Once you have evaluated all the steps, and once you have made a plan and you are going to do that plan, you need to do it now. Don't wait. Your plan, whatever it is, whether bugging in or bugging out, will have action items. You need to begin those action items without delay. Do not cry. Do not whine. Nobody's going to come rescue you. It's up to you. There'll be time for reflection later to think about how horrific it was. But right now, you need to do. And then keep in mind, all plans turn to shit. So whatever plan that you come up with, be constantly thinking of a backup plan and a backup plan to that backup plan. We all hope and pray that nothing ever happens like this, but you need to be prepared mentally to assess the situation and act accordingly. So once again, we're going to run through these 7 steps. 1, calm down. 2, identify the threat. 3, assess what is on you, near you, and close to you. Number 4, step 4, decide on your course of action. Are you going to seek shelter? Are you going to evacuate the immediate area? Am I safe temporarily? Number 5, do step 4. Whatever that is, do it as quickly and as safely as possible. Step 6, once your immediate safety is achieved, you must plan and evaluate your next steps. What are you going to do? If you're going to shelter in place and stay in place, how are you going to achieve that? If you're going to evacuate, how are you going to do that? And then step 6, you need to keep in mind the severity of the incident, your mode of egress, and your exposure to hazards. Step 7, act now. Don't hesitate. Get it done. Do it now. Begin those action items without delay, and don't worry about what's going on around you other than the fact of your immediate safety and how you get away from it or protect yourself. Not really step 8, but all plans turn to shit, so have a backup plan to a backup plan to a backup plan. I hope this helps, but just remember the 7 steps. Keep your mind clear, keep yourself calm, and think appropriately.